Hello, and welcome to episode 510 of Prog Review. And today, it's this one. I've already done a live listening of it, and I thought, seeing it's the anniversary of Bowie's passing, that I'd listen to it again. I haven't listened to it since the day it was released last year, and I thought, well, it was a bit painful. I've listened to his other albums and listened to like The Next Day and things like that, but thought I'd put this one on the back burner and come back to it because, see how I felt about it, because again, it was very strange hearing it at the time. If you go and look at that live listen, touch the hand and that will open the live listen in another window for you, and watch that later. I was a bit confused by the album. It felt like something like a bit of a finale. We didn't know. We had no idea, because Bowie had stage managed his departure so well. It was a strange, leaving, message, leaving card. It was just, it's a strange thing to get. So anyway, put it on the record player today and listen to it. The first thing that came out to me is it really did remind me of Earthling, and so that's a good thing. Because there's this kind of the drumming is very reminiscent of the drum and bass stuff on Earthling. I just kept hearing parallels between that, and also you got the saxophone going through it as well. So you got this kind of progressive jazz and bass. Oh dear. Groove going through the entire album. That flavours it, and so it's probably, like I said, up there with Earthling being one of his more edgier albums. It's edgy. It's got there's a it's not your traditional rock and roll, is it? There aren't you don't get all the riffs and the rocking outs. It's very skittery, drum led, jazz infused. The opening track. Blackstar, I mean, we all know these now. These are all very familiar to us, but Blackstar, it's prog by any other name, and it tells a story, and there's lots of messages in there. You can go there. I'm not gonna sit here. Darren, explain the music. Explain it. We want musical analysis. People complain that I don't go in depth enough, but there's whole websites for that. You don't come here for in-depth analysis. You come here for me mugging at the camera, surely. But anyway, with Blackstar, there's lots of imagery in there. Again, it's a strange one. There's this feeling of doom, which again carries on to Lazarus, which is this like they're almost like a two-parter. I see Blackstar and Lazarus as being one and the same. They should have just been glued together. So yeah, you've got this imagery going on and this jazz thing and this great conclusion. Which I think almost needs harps. It almost needs angels singing on it, because it feels like someone going to heaven. And it's just, again, it's probably one of the more remarkable things he's done. It's just amazing. Again, when you put it into context about somebody being that ill, it's even more astounding. 'Tis Pity She Was a Whore. Is this okay? You've still got that. I mean, it's been re-recorded. It had been reissued before. Wasn't a new track, so they put, like I said, that jazz drum and bass vibe on it. It's all right, it's okay, it's growing on me. Then you got Lazarus again, which I see as the second part of Blackstar. Again, Lazarus, risen from the dead. You think, how much did he know? Was this is this a message, or is this just coincidence? Is this what's on his mind? About God, we'd all want to be like Lazarus and rise again, wouldn't we? We would all want to, come back. And it's very, it's still very, very odd. Flip over the album, because I was listening onto the old vinyls. I was. You got Sue, or In the Season of a Crime again, which I think again had been released as a record store day vinyl, and again I think it was re-recorded. I think before it was more piano based. Don't quote me on that because I haven't heard it. Again, it's okay. The story, it's a different story, but again it's about getting the test results back, the X-rays being clear, and there's all these words. It's double loaded. It's very strange, even though it's not necessarily about Bowie. I've got a feeling it's all about Bowie. He just messes around with gender and the tense of the story to confuse us. Let's just say it's all about Bowie, shall we? But again, it's a little story being told to music. Girl Loves Me is probably the weakest thing on the record. I don't like it. Dollar Days, again, you get this thing about him going back to England, seeing the trees, seeing the trees or the evergreens, I can't remember. And again, there's this pining, this yearning for the past almost. It's reflective. It's like, I want the past. I cannot. Have I got enough time to go back? Again, time's running out, but we don't realise that. But it's Dollar Days. Dollar Days. He's in America. It's not Pound Days. It's not Pound Sterling Days. It's Dollar Days. It's about him, being, an Englishman in New York, and his home is over there. So again, it's kind of sad, really. Kind of sad in a way. The one track that really did change for me was I Can't Give Everything Away. Now, when I heard this the first time, I felt it was quite maudlin. I thought it was, a bit of a miserable old thing. And I didn't know what to, just thought, oh wow, it's like it was almost like a goodbye. And I listened to it again today, and the opposite came. It almost was a celebration. It felt quite positive, like he was singing it with a smile on his face, like, I've done so much that I can't, again, it's got a double meaning. I can't give everything away, i.e. I can't tell everyone what's really going on, or I can't give anything away, material goods, and, his fame, who he was, who he is, and so I can't give everything away. He's done so much that he couldn't throw it away even if he wanted to. There's that kind of meaning to it. So I was going along with that line, that it was about accomplishment. I'd done so much that even if I wanted to, I couldn't give any of this away. And it came across as more of a positive song. Again, it's all about interpretation. We all come with our own baggage and our own ways of interpreting things. So I found it really positive and uplifting at the end, and especially when you got the pseudo Fripp Adrian Belew guitar line comes in. I felt elevated by it, which is a completely opposite to how I felt the last time. And it's funny that, isn't it? It's all about context and how you contextualise these things. As a whole, I think it's an amazing... It is a strong album. Okay, you got one track on there I don't necessarily like, but as a thing, again, it's Bowie surrounding himself by clever people, because that's what he does. He's like Eno. It's like all those people that he surrounds himself by, people that are smarter and better than himself, and sucking the best out of them. So I think, who was it? He's pianist. Let me just pull up his name because I don't want to get it wrong, because you'll always say it's. I always get these names wrong, you see. I'll edit this so it looks like I know exactly who I'm talking about. Oh God, what was his name? Mike Garson. There you go. Mike Garson, his pianist, in a documentary recently said, if you could be cruel, you could call him a vampire, a spiritual vampire, and he fed off people. If you were cruel about him. But this is what you see. You see Bowie, using clever people, talented people, and constructing his vision, using them as the building blocks. And this is no different. And again, I know a lot of people don't like Earthling. I think Earthling was a great album, the same way that Outside was. He was kind of pushing the envelope, trying to do something different. And Blackstar, I think, again, it's one of those albums it's far ahead. It's far ahead of itself. And now he could have just sat there and done an album full of ballads. He could have, done, Bowie the works. He goes through all of his gamut of styles and delivered something that was very, very Bowie. It is Bowie, but it's him saying, hey, let's push in that direction for once. And so when you compare it to the next day, now the next day is very standard stuff. It is Bowie doing Bowie. You know, you've got the rock riffs, you've got him doing the songs. Again, that's an album that's grown on me. I wasn't that big fan of it at the time, but again, when somebody dies, you think, fuck, you've got to treasure the records. So that one's grown on me. The interesting thing about the next day is there's a whole album of extra bloody songs that came with. There was a box set. I think I did an unboxing of it. But there's a box set with an extra CD of material on there, which is just as good. And again, I do ask you to seek it out or look for it on iTunes or digital, wherever, because that's amazing. Because we could have had three Bowie albums instead of two, you know. But anyway, we're back to Blackstar. I think it was again a real, for a finale. It's a real edgy, progressive, pushing the envelope finale, and 41 minutes 17 goes to prove that the best albums are within the 35 to 42 minute bracket, and it wasn't as hard to listen to it as I thought it was going to be. And like I said, that last track really felt uplifting to me, and you know, and that's that. And a rating, I'm going to give it 4 Black Stars out of 5, because there's 1 or 2 tracks on it that I don't necessarily care about, but it's certainly the best thing he's done. I've got bollocks. Let's give him 5 black. It's Bowie. He's dead. He won't mind. 5 Black Stars out of 5. How could I be so mean? It's 5 black because it's up there with Earth, and it's got to be a 5. I forget my own judging, my own marking. I really do. So yeah, it just goes to show that even during illness, you can produce something remarkable, and Bowie did that. And once more, I thank Bowie for the music and the imagery and the films. Again, I've been watching Man Who Fell to Earth and Labyrinth. I've watched Labyrinth 3 times now. Again, it was somebody who was, as a child, always in your life, you know, like these rock stars were back in the day. And I feel a bit sad for the kids of now, where our culture's been so diluted, and instead of having the Bowies and the Mercuries and, you know, and whoever else, you know, strutting around, we have the Trumps dominating the media instead, and that's a real great shame that our kids don't have that those rich cultural heroes to look up to, and I don't think they do, not in terms of music anyway. It's gone elsewhere. And on that note, thank you, Mr. Bowie. Thank you, Mr. Bowie, once more. And do check this record out. You've probably already heard it anyway. I don't know why I'm saying that. Anyway, thank you for listening to me Babylon. My name's Darren Locke. I've been talking about Blackstar, the 25th and final album from David Bowie, released on the 8th of January 2016. There's only one more thing to say, and that is